following along, you may have realized, hey, she never told me how to put the two bits of my scarf together. What's going on? Well, here's the story. I have finished my 2 charcoal panels. Here they are, 1 and 2. But so that you can see how I'm going to join them, I'm actually going to join my pink sample onto my charcoal panel, just, you know, for visual acuity and all that stuff. Now, I've noticed that when I finished my pink sample, I finished on an even row. Here are my 2 center clusters. That doesn't match this guy, who's finished on an odd row. There's my single center cluster above the center space. So I'm just going to work this extra row and get my 2 sides to match up, because that will make life a lot easier. And as I work along this last side, I'm going to think about popping a stitch marker into the center of my row so that I can line up the 2 sides of my scarf. You can simply sew these together if you like, or you can keep your crochet hook in hand and pop a nice simple single crochet stitch along the top seam. This is my preference because then it stretches, because your scarf is, you know, going to move over time and as you put it around your neck and stuff like that. Putting a single crochet along the top will make it sit just a little bit differently to putting a seam in where you sew. Your seam that you sew won't have the same type of elasticity and give. So my preference is to crochet. Of course, you can do whatever you like. I have a delightfully clashing orange that I'm going to use to show you how the seam goes. But of course, if you're making a scarf and you wanted it to blend in, you would just keep working in the same color as your panels. If you would like your seam to be conspicuous, choose another color like I am. Up to you. Like always, choose your own adventure. My cotton's tangling. So my finished scarf has 7 motifs down either side. I will post a couple photos of it once it's totally done, and I will add the photos of this last stage to the PDF pattern so that you can see the thing. All right, there's my center spot just there. So I'll take that marker out for a minute without snagging it. Pop my cluster in. Oh, I'm coming up to an end. That's kind of annoying and totally unexpected. How rude. This cotton's actually from a mill end bag at Spotlight, which I think I may have even managed to get on half price or for $6. So it was a bit of a bargain, but sometimes you do get annoying things like random joins in the cotton. So I'll just put a little quick knot in there. Ta-da! She'll be annoying because I'll have to conceal it in my seam, but oh well. Sometimes that's just what life throws at you. Yeah, there we go. I got most of it into a cluster. I can go back and tidy that up later with a hook or a needle, or maybe just a pair of scissors. All right, we're nearly done this top seam. And I would love to see any photos. If you've made this scarf and followed along this far, please leave me a photo. You can find my Etsy shop at Keep Calm and Crochets, or you can email it to me via my YouTube channel, whatever you like. But I would love to see your finished result. Or if you get stuck, same thing, message me. I'm more than happy to help out if there's any point of confusion that I can clarify. Okay, once I get to the end of this row, I'm going to finish off my work properly and switch colors. If you wanted to seam in the same color, obviously don't do that, okay? Hold your cotton and pretend that I'm not adding a new color in. I'm only doing it so that you have a visual of where the seam's going to go. Otherwise, I would be sticking with my same color as well. Okay, one in the end. And I'll just pull my end through and do a little quick and dirty tie off. There we go. All right, I've marked my middle cluster And what I'm going to do now is flip my pink side over, sorry. So I've got right sides together, wrong sides facing me, and use this little safety pin marker to pin my two middle clusters together. So middle charcoal cluster is there. I'm going through the second double crochet in the group, and I'm going to pin it to the second double crochet in my pink group. Do I flip it over? Doesn't matter. Of course, I've just realized that this pattern's worked back and forth, so both sides are your right side. I don't know what I was thinking. It's late. I'm confused. And then I'm going to put a couple of my little safety pin stitch markers in just to help me keep my bearings, really. First cluster together, second cluster together, third, fourth. Yeah, you know what? I'll pop it in the gap just there. There are no rules about this. You can put as many or as few stitch markers in as you want. No, there's no like crochet police that will come after you. I'm going to work in from the other side to make sure my stitch count is right. First cluster. Hold on. I've got one in that side and one in that side. Oh yeah, cool. I'm matching. It's okay. Had a little moment of doubt. Cluster. First cluster, second cluster, which seems a very long way away, but that's what it is. Third cluster, fourth cluster. There we go. And let's just pin those two together, just so you keep things kind of matched up. That doesn't look right. Why is that? Oh, because I've got two stitches there and only one there. Oh, because I made a mistake. I made a mistake, guys. Look, I've got my one double crochet. I should have two double crochet and match it up with that side. Okay, that's going to haunt me at night, so let me just undo this and do it the right way. See, everybody makes mistakes. Shouldn't have turned my work. Did that one too many times. Lived to regret it. Okay, now I've got my dodgy half cluster on that side that we know and love. Or I should have my dodgy half cluster. The good thing about these endings is that you can just pull them out and pretend, hey, look, never happened. I have enough cotton there to do one more double crochet. And ta-da! Never happened. Okay, great. Happy days. So I've got my two that connect to my two there. Because, you know, wouldn't it be awful if I was off by one stitch? Oh my goodness, the shock. I'm going to find my center cluster again and my center cluster again here. Great. I'm going to start my last one over here, about 2 in from the edge. That should be right. And like I said, use as many or as few stitch markers as you want. Might put one more in for luck, hey? Maybe we'll go 5 along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hook those two together. Safety pin stitch markers are pretty fantastic. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to keep thinking about hooking through both of these stitches and then creating my single crochet over the top. So let's grab some very differently colored yarn. Ta-da! And have a go. Well, this has got a nice knot. Again, mill ends from Spotlight. Bargains, fantastic, but sometimes you can run into some nasty business with knots and getting started. Here's one I didn't prepare earlier. In the interest of brevity, I'm just going to cut that knot off. Don't tell anyone. Okay, make your loop to get started. Again, if you are continuing with a colour you've already used, you don't need to faff about with this. You'll already be continuing on. So I'll start where my pink end left off. And all I'm going to do, pretend that I've already got this loop on my hook that is pink, is go through my pink stitch, oops, through both loops of it. That's a little bit more substantial. And then through my grey stitch, and then yarn over and pull it through, trying really hard not to get all my ends caught up in that. Yarn over and pull it through, and there's my start. Amazing. All right, so I'm turning my work so that I can see my charcoal and pink sandwich together, working around the stitch marker, go through my charcoal stitch, through my pink stitch, over, pull it through, over, pull it through, and repeat. Charcoal stitch, pink stitch. I'd like it to be the first one of that cluster. I'm just fact checking. Pull it through, over, pull it through. Again, charcoal stitch, pink stitch, through and through. And this is all you're going to do all the way along. You're just sandwiching your two colors together, and it's really, really that easy. Over and through. If you want, you can even slip stitch it. A slip stitch looks like this, where you just bring it through and straight through, and that will give you a slightly flatter join. Again though, it doesn't have the same elasticity, so I prefer to go for a single crochet stitch, through, and get a super secure join that is never going to come apart. And from the other side is just going to look like little row of straight lines that mesh your stitches together. Obviously, when I do this with charcoal and charcoal and charcoal, you're not even going to see the join. So that's all you need to do. You just work your way along, all the way along the top of your scarf. When you get to the other end, you know what to do, right? Pull your end through, fasten off. All you need to do is bring it through, squeeze it tight, cut, and you can work your ends away. And that is how you join your scarf together. I would love to see your finished project. Have fun.